What's going on, snipers? Naeem Al-Obeidi here. I hope you're all enjoying your day today. Let's go ahead and just dive right into our daily cryptocurrency content and analytics for today. John McAfee challenging the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. We're going to be talking about several different headlines as well as looking at Bitcoin's price analysis. You can see here we are approaching these extremely oversold levels here on the one-day RSI, coming down to below 30 right now in this oversold region. So that means that our opportunity to make money is coming sometime soon, and we are going to be in an expectation of a swing high sometime soon. Doesn't necessarily mean the overall trend is going to continue upward. However, I definitely can say that sooner or later we're going to see a swing up where profits can be made, and in my opinion, we may see something a little bit significant like we've seen previously in the past with these two large swing backs. As you can see, if we were to measure these, one swing back here was over 100, almost 100% here. The second one here, almost 50%. So even a 25% swing back right there would be a huge opportunity. I've actually got this zone drawn out here. Pretty much right now, the level I'm watching is right around 6,400. Obviously, we are starting to get into this decline, but at the end of the day, we can't sit here and worry about it. We have to be able to play these markets safely. Once again, if you haven't already consolidated portfolios into one asset class, that could definitely help. However, if you are trading this market, you can either be shorting this market or using and utilizing these swing backs that we're going to see over time. So that's pretty much what I'm watching here with Bitcoin. Let's dive into our first headline here. McAfee challenges the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission to a televised debate. Why is this significant? Well, in my opinion, I think it's something that's necessary. I think the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission needs to speak out a little bit more about what the regulations and the guidelines are in regards to ICOs being considered securities or utilities or things of that nature. You can see here in the article, if we go down here, you can see McAfee tweeted, quote, "The head of the SEC declared today that all ICOs are securities. While I strongly disagree and believe that the majority of ICOs do not meet the Supreme Court Howey test for securities, I will submit for now to their rules and will not work with future ICOs." So he's kind of protecting himself at the same time challenging the SEC. So he's doing it in a very smart fashion, which I give a little bit of respect to John McAfee for doing so. But at the same time, he's an outspoken individual. So it's going to be good to see what happens with this primary, I would call it a challenge to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, which is not a bad thing in my opinion. So we've got an awesome live audience right now. Lawrence Brewer, Jason Silver Jaguar, good to have you all. Let's dive into our next headline here. You can see here the Chinese government considers relaxing the ban on cryptocurrency trading. Quote here, Chinese central bank governor sees the digital assets as an unavoidable step in the evolution of money. So once again, the fundamentals here, the market's healthier than ever. We're seeing more adoption than ever, more regulations starting to mature, and a more mature market as a whole. So knowing that and knowing that the prices are lower than we'd seen back in December, it's kind of asking you the same question that we talked about previously with Warren Buffett saying, I bought Coca-Cola while it was down because that was the best opportunity. And then look what happened with Warren Buffett becoming the largest shareholder of Coca-Cola and a very successful investor. It's the same thing we're seeing here with Bitcoin. I am still expecting a $1 trillion market cap. I'm going to continue to say that because it just makes sense. I can see $1 trillion coming to this market, no big deal, especially with all of the institutional interest and hedge funds that are soon to be investing into this market and those that have already invested into this market. So do you guys agree with me or not? Leave it in the comments below or leave it in the chat if you're watching live. If you haven't liked the video already, feel free to like this video and let's dive into our Ethereum technical analysis. So the question is, are we going to be swing trading Ethereum or Bitcoin? I think Ethereum is the better option in this case. Now, we're seeing a little bit of a different scenario here with Ethereum. We've got two accumulation zones that we're watching here. Right now, I'm watching the 450 level all the way down to around 420. And then we've also got this lower level where I would call a Black Friday deal coming down from around 370 all the way down to around 270 US dollars. So knowing that Ethereum, once again, has seen a sharp decline from the EOS drama as well as the overall market being in a decline, I think that it could be a great swing trade sometime soon, especially knowing the type of gains that we've seen in 2017, 2018, and how I would say Ethereum moves in an extreme fashion in comparison to a coin like Bitcoin. So let's take some questions from the live audience and we'll dive into an overall market analysis here. Ernie Roberts says, Do you think mainstream coins are safer than alts with all of this regulation? Here's what I would say, Ernie. If you are concerned about regulations, if you're concerned about anything in relation to altcoins, some people might be concerned about the fact that their portfolio is too diversified. If that's a concern of yours, say I in the chat or in the comments below. Let's see how many people feel like their portfolios are way too diversified in which they don't have as much control over. Because if that's the case, here's what I'll tell you. The best thing you can do is consolidate into one or two asset classes, preferably Bitcoin or Ethereum, so that you can now control your asset classes while still being invested into this market, not necessarily being called a sellout, right? Because you're still in the market, it's just in one asset class. And Bitcoin and Ethereum almost act as their own index. I used to talk about this all the time in our early SniperStube live streams. If you guys remember, leave it in the comments below or in the chat. If you guys remember when I used to talk about how Ethereum is almost like its own hedge fund, right? It just carries so many different coins on. I think over the top 100 coins, 45 of them are built on the Ethereum ERC20 platform. Therefore, Ethereum in itself is almost like a hedge fund where it's diversified in itself, right? So it's pretty cool to know that. And if you want to go ahead and manage your portfolio, it's called consolidation management, where you consolidate that into one asset class. Preferably, like I said, Bitcoin or Ethereum, as the overall market follows those coins. So we got a ton of people saying I here. Look at that. Jack Mehoff, Dane Carter, JL Roger said I, which is awesome here. Paul Sierra says, what's Gucci, Naeem? Nothing much, Louis. I'm just kidding. Mr. Confused 100 says 100 likes and Naeem will call his friends in the Illuminati and make BTC go up. Okay. I don't have friends in the Illuminati. Oh, wait. Hold on. My phone is ringing. Oh, it's my friend from the Illuminati. No, I'm just kidding. Lauren says, what's up, Snipers? Naeem, do you keep your long-term holds in place when the market crashes? I consolidate when the market is in any sort of overall decline, because when I consolidate, it gives me the ability to really swing trade in a more proper fashion. And that's independent of what portfolios I'm utilizing. Like sometimes I have long-term holds where if I'm still at a profit, I will hold those tokens. But if I'm not in a profit and I'm trying to recoup profits or recoup losses or recoup initial capital, I'll consolidate my asset classes in order to ensure that I have everything in full control. So Yakin said, still doing long-term investment. Of course, it's a very bullish emerging market that we're in. It's just we're seeing the nature of markets act, in which we saw a huge run up to 20,000, a drop down to 6,000-7,000 is no big deal at the end of the day. Remember, if you were in this market in January of 2017, you'd still be at a profit. So give me a break. If you think the market is crashing, I mean, we're better and healthier than ever, in my opinion, especially the fact that now we've got the interest of all of these institutions. We've got the interest of the mass media. We've got the interest of all of these huge regulatory entities, as well as governments and countries and states and provinces and like that. And now that we have that attention, in my opinion, it's just going to lead to the maturation of this market into a legitimate marketplace where we can truly have an intrinsic value placed upon these coins, alongside with clear and concise guidelines and regulations that people understand and could build upon, right? And that's where I think we'll start to see true revolutionary companies come about, in which they're utilizing the blockchain technology to the fullest extent, especially the coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum that are currently dominating the market. So hopefully that gives you an understanding. Josh White says, look at those discounts. Jonathan Sanders saying, agreed, super young market. Absolutely. David says it's still a young market. 100% here. Jared says, what is happening with EOS, Naeem? We're crashing. EOS is crashing, right? Well, I'll tell you what, EOS right now, if you look at EOS, we're actually down here with EOS. We'll pull up the trading view chart here to take a look at what's going on with EOS following their successful mainnet launch in, I guess you can say, minus the failed bugs that were reported in the EOS launch that we're not going to go into depth about. But looking at EOS, you can see we've broke that 0.5 Fibonacci, probably heading down towards that 0.38 for sure. So I would say right now we're definitely on the decline here. You can see we're also on the one-day RSI, still a little bit overbought in regards to the overall market being oversold. We're still in these neutral regions. We have a long way to go down. So I'd be very careful if you're holding EOS, especially looking at it in regards to the Satoshi value. If you were to look at EOS in regards to USD value, we'd see something a lot similar too. You can see we've broke very, very key support levels here. So we are on our way down. And unfortunately, you can see here we had a huge rally here initially, and then we consolidated down to these levels, saw a little bit of a fake out, and now we're heading right back down to these lower RSI levels. Silver Jaguar says, everything follows Bitcoin. People should understand that by now. 100%. I agree. So any other questions or requests here with our live audience? We don't want to extend this live stream too long. We covered a lot yesterday. If you guys didn't watch our live stream yesterday, I highly recommend checking it out. Paul Sierra says, Naeem, do you still get nervous or question the value of the market when it crashes like this? I got used to it being a long-term investor, but want your opinion. No. Trust me, I remember when Bitcoin was at $300 and it sat there for so long, and then it went up to $1,000, and I had a ton of my friends call me and say, oh my gosh, Naeem, I've got so much Bitcoin here, and it's quadrupled, you know, I'm so excited, blah, blah, blah. And then it crashes back down to 300 and everyone is like, oh my gosh, I should have just sold while it was at 1,000. Man, if I would have sold. And then guess what? It went to 20,000. So looking back in hindsight, yeah, it did crash at the time, but at the end of the day, it wasn't that bad. And if you think about that in comparison to the type of percentages we've seen with this market, it's about a similar percentage of a drop, right? 70% of their portfolio wiped out. And it's something that we're seeing here. I mean, we're pretty much 70% down from our all-time highs in December. So very similar situation. Not worried. Leah Sell Mitchell says, will we triple bottom? Yeah, possibly. I definitely could see us triple bottoming around that 5,900, 6,000 level. Once again, I am trying to accumulate all throughout that level. I'm trying to dollar cost average, knowing that these are lower levels. We've bounced at these levels multiple times already. I know that these are oversold levels. Look at the RSI, completely oversold. That's the time to buy. The time to buy is oversold. The time to sell is overbought. Remember, buying the red, selling the green. So looking at this right now, it's just looking like a beautiful market to purchase. Anybody agree with me? Say I in the chat. Let's see. The Cryptorian said, so too late to sell at a profit and 30 coins to just wait or sell at a loss and potentially buy back cheap. Well, if you have 30 coins and you want to have more control over your coins, then just consolidate it into Bitcoin. And then you can just still be invested into the market. Nuna says I, Jack says I, Josh says I, Michael says I. Sounds good. I love it. Everyone is saying I. Leslie says I. Ahmed says I. Hell yeah, I. Awesome, guys. So hopefully you guys are enjoying these live streams. If you guys are, like this video, and we're going to be wrapping this baby up soon. I do want to talk about this overall market really quick before we head out. You can see here we've got the majority of these coins down, obviously. You've got Ethereum Classic 15% up from that exchange listing announcement. No big deal. The majority of coins are down. You've got, you know, a little bit of coins here and there. But if we were to go to Satoshi value, let's take a look at how it's looking here with Satoshi values. Not as brutal of a market, in my opinion. You can see here, you can see majority of these are less than 5% down in regards to Satoshi value. So they're maintaining their Bitcoin value, which is good. And that's why I'm telling you, if you want to consolidate your portfolio right now into Bitcoin, it might be a wise decision. Or you guys can just go ahead and play the market cycles in which they play themselves. So looking at that, and then also looking at the overall market in the past 7 days, you can see it tells a similar story with the majority of the market down over 10% here, with a very, very few in an exception like Tether, for example, here. No difference. That doesn't really matter. But the Binance coin doing very well over the past 7 days. We've talked about the Binance coin. So hopefully you guys have either hedged against this market crash with Binance or other tokens, but very good here that the Binance token is holding off pretty well. Once again, we know that's a very intrinsically valuable coin, and I'm very bullish about it. So that's what I'm saying about the overall market. So Osama says we need volume. Yes, I agree. We definitely need volume. I can agree 100%. Emix says, Naeem, do you think we're in the early majority phase? Yes, I think we're in the early adopter phase, not the early majority phase. So John says, no question buy, 100%. The Cryptorian says, you look especially attractive today. Thank you. Appreciate that. Faisal says, I think crypto is following the gold chart. Compare that and you'll easily see a correlation. Interesting. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this live stream. It seems like we covered the majority of the information. Let's do our disclaimer and then hit the like button. Little video tag. And with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Until our next live stream, let's see where the market heads. Like I'm saying, dollar cost averaging, in my opinion, from now around 6,500, 6,400, and then even if it heads down to the 62 or the low sixes, is a good idea, because we know these are oversold regions where we've seen previous swing back to the high. So thank you so much. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this stream. Like the video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Join our free Discord community, 24/7 trading community. We do daily market updates, trade alerts for our premium members, which could be found at patreon.com/snipers. Thank you all. And like I said earlier, snipers out.